while ago, I joined the Freemasons. I was part of that organization, and I got really involved in it. I attended every meeting. I attended every new degree conferral when we'd have a new member joining. I would show up to pull weeds at the lodge building. I went to coffee with the lodge members. I just tried to be as involved as I possibly could be. And then I burned out. I started to feel like it was a waste of my time. I started to feel like it wasn't fun. And I started to feel like I needed to be more involved than I was comfortable being. The truth was, this was completely my fault. I didn't have to jump into everything that was available to me. I could have just sat on the sideline, enjoyed the experience casually, and not really put so much effort in. I could have just been casual. And if I would have done that, I would have been just fine. Nobody would have had any problem with me. I could have given what I wanted to give on my terms. And if I did that, I wouldn't have burned out. Instead, what happened was eventually there's a breaking point where I just lost interest and I stopped being involved at all. And I think that happens a lot with different things that we dabble in and start to be part of, whether it's a gaming guild or a game we're trying to be obsessed with to see it through and finish it, or any number of other things in our lives. We can feel like we need to be 100% sold on something, and then we put so much effort into trying to make sure that we are on board that it becomes a torture. It becomes a task. It becomes a sense of it's never enough. It's never good enough. And that's not a fun thing. And then at some point we realize, well, we don't have to be doing any of this stuff anyway. So there's that breaking point where you just say, okay, I'm done. Being casual solves that problem for the greater part. You say, okay, I'm going to be part of this. That's great. But that doesn't mean that I'll have to be obsessed with it. It doesn't mean that I have to put everything else on hold for it. Doesn't mean that I have to do it tomorrow just because I did it today. If I want to do something, that's fine. I can do it. But I don't have to allow any one thing to be my lifestyle. It's okay to say, I'm going to respect something because I think it's cool. I like the idea of it, but I'm not going to be obsessed with it. And it's true, there's going to always be that pressure there. Somebody's going to be saying, well, would you like to be more involved? Here's some other things you could do. Here's some things you could get involved in. But you don't have to. And knowing that can allow you to just enjoy your life every day. Enjoy it all throughout every day. And don't have any expectations that you have to meet any particular benchmarks in order to enjoy the experience. You can go to work, you can have fun at work, you can try to be as productive as you can on the job. You can be present in the things that you're doing, absolutely, but you don't have to be obsessed with them. You don't have to be so determined that you're going to be all the way on board at the expense of your personal peace of mind and balance in other areas of your life. Knowing that potentially keeps you from burning out. And if you don't burn out, then you have more of that slow and steady, persistent progress in your life. And I think that winds up oftentimes resulting in more progress than you would think you'd make, because instead of quitting a bunch of times, you just consistently are involved, and consistent involvement tends to produce better long-term results anyway than short bursts of intense focus. It really is true. Slow and steady wins the race. And you might be surprised how much people will respect boundaries if you establish them. If you say, I'm going to be doing something else during this time, which means I'm not going to be spending that time with you doing what you want me to do because I have other priorities. But here's something I will do. People will respect that. You don't have to give all your time to one particular person or thing or game or hobby or job. It's okay to just give what you are comfortable giving when you're comfortable giving it, and then sometimes just take a break from it. There might be a period of time where I don't feel like playing any games at all, and that's okay. There might be a period of time when I'm really in the mood to do something with a guild. And then there might be a period of time when I just feel like I'm not feeling it. I want to log off and take a couple weeks and not touch that guild and just play some other game, play a single player game, you know? And if that means that I can't be part of that organization or group, that's fine. There's plenty of other ones. But you might find that everybody will be totally understanding of you setting boundaries in your life. It's you who actually refuse to set the boundaries. It's like a coworker of mine who always says, well, I can't take time off of work. People always are calling me during the weekend. They're always asking me to do things. And I always tell her that's totally on you. Because if you didn't always sit there living with your phone turned on, buzzer on, ringtone on, just waiting for the next time somebody calls you and buzzes you, if you just set that boundary that on the weekend and after hours you don't respond to things unless it's an emergency, then people wouldn't call you all the time. They would understand that boundary. But that's not a boundary that she set because she doesn't really want to set that boundary. She hasn't gotten to the point where she really wants to do that. She might complain about it. She likes to complain about it because it gives her a sense of importance, that people need her, and there's that desire to feel relevant. So maybe in the case of that individual, she's not really at a point where she doesn't want to be bugged by people. She'd rather have people calling her and bugging her and running things by her and all that kind of stuff because it gives her a sense of purpose, which is fine. But the truth is, if she set boundaries, then she might be surprised to find that a lot of people would be completely comfortable with respecting those boundaries. And we don't really see that because we are so bad at setting boundaries at all. We just assume that we can't. The truth is, it's fine to pretty much be beholden to none, to just live your life on a basis of what brings you joy in the moment. And that doesn't mean you're not going to be consistent in any way. It doesn't mean that you're not going to be available to others at all. It doesn't mean you're not going to have any projects that you see through. It doesn't mean you're not going to have any consistency. It just means that you aren't going to put yourself in a position where you feel like you're going to burn out. That's all it is. If you feel like there's a burden there, then take a break. It's okay to not be always committed, always 100% on all the time. It's okay to just have fun with your life. Do something because it seems fun in the moment, because it inspires you today. And tomorrow, well, let that take care of itself. Thank you for watching.